and welcome on episode 5 of IT on Tap. This is Pieter and with me is my co-host Nick.
Hello.
Nick.
Yeah, we're sitting here together. It's this episode is gonna be in the new year, so we need to switch in our 2025 mindset because currently we are still in the last days of 2024. It's actually Christmas Eve today. We're on the 24th of December today, so for all of you that have celebrated the holidays, we wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year from the podcast.
2025.
Yes, 2025.
What is your New Year resolution, Nick? Or what will it be?
Trust no one. So 2024 has given me some trust issues.
Sweet.
So I go with trust no one, verify everything.
That's beautiful. Makes me think of this one concept in IT. It's kind of a buzzword since the last few years. What is it called? Zero trust?
Wow, it's almost like we planned this. No, so yeah, we thought like, what is going to be our episode? What are we going to do? And our last meeting of the year is a meeting where we were all in together, me, Pieter, one of our colleagues from the data center team and our network team. I'm doing workspace, as I already mentioned, but I will put that in again. Pieter is our security guy. And yeah, that's quite a weird meeting for all four of us to put the heads together. It happens, but we all had a use case for Zero Trust Network Access, or ZTNA, which is... What exactly, Pieter?
Which is, Zero Trust Network Access, as you said it. I kind of like to look at it as it's the new way of creating remote access to a resource or to a network. Kind of like the traditional VPN we all used to use. I think we all used OpenVPN once, or maybe WireGuard for the more advanced users of us. But ZTNA are usually tools that don't require you to open up a port on your remote network, but you install an appliance on there. It makes a reverse connection to some kind of cloud product, and then you connect through the cloud product to your appliance on the remote network. And it is Zero Trust Network Access because you can apply your Zero Trust principles in the cloud.
And those are?
The Zero Trust principles? Yes. That is a very good question. It all comes down to your identity. You authenticate yourself via your identity to your identity provider for getting access to the ZTNA product, and then it comes down to the policies that you can set up in the cloud product itself. You can do your least privilege there. You have your continuous access evaluation there and all those stuff. All kinds of buzzwords. Do you want to dig deeper on it? So
close, because I was just going to be like, yeah, but what you're describing now, the IAM, so the MFA, SSO, identity check or posture check, because it can also be device-based. It's more infrastructure stuff. But then you said like, least privilege, continuous validation of access. That's were the two words I was still looking for, because we already gave away the first principle, which is trust no one, verify everything, always assume breach.
Yeah, but how do you trust no one and always verify everything?
You become a very lonely person.
No. Okay. No, but it is through your identity management. It is through the continuous access evaluation. All those things, the Zero Trust builds upon those principles.
Yes, I think in the past, we never really kept on checking like, hey, is this still you? You mentioned like the VPN. You get a VPN tool, whatever client, you make a connection and it checks on authentication and you stay active all the time.
Yeah, and the difference here with the ZTNAs, with TVPN, once you are connected, once you gained authorization, you have network access to all resources. And then it comes down to when, let's say you connect to a VPN and then you want to connect to a web server inside the network. You can reach the web server, but you need to log in there. And let's say you are not authorized for it. So the web server will say you're not. Upon trying to log in, it will say wrong credentials, you cannot log in here, but you're able to reach the web server. And with ZTNA, this authorization check happens before you can even reach the web server.
True. And also, maybe that's another discussion that we can go in later, like what is the difference between ZTNA and an always-on VPN or a VPN tunnel from
with a reverse proxy, yeah, that's a funny one. Let's do it later.
Just also a little bit more, because we'll go into it later, because now I don't want to go that technical yet. But damn it, where did I want to go? The thing that you said about IAM, like the posture checks and the continuous validation, like if you get compromised and in your IAM provider you get flagged as compromised, you will immediately lose access. Like It's not that.
Well, if it's set up that way, yes, indeed. And
for example, you can also add in device protection and device posture. Like if you need to have certain checks that you go through. Last episode we talked about conditional access. You can use conditional access, which is also a part of zero trust networking or zero trust, to validate if this user is still able to or allowed to access, and it gets checked on a regular basis. So you don't only get checked on login, you get also checked during the session that is active. But then if we go a little bit more into detail about the ZTNA versus VPN, like what are the improvements that ZTNA gives towards a VPN?
I think I already named a few, but for me the most significant one is that you don't have exposure anymore on the internet. There is no open port. There is no way for a malicious actor to try to scan your environment and find that VPN endpoint and then is able to exploit it. There is no possibility. The only way for the attacker to gain access is to compromise an end user credential or identity and gain access via his account, via a valid account. Then.
Yeah, I think you can kind of see it as a pool. You know, you have the swimming pool with all the lanes, that the guys go and swim in. And you can say like a VPN, if you log in into the VPN, you get access to the entire pool, but you cannot access all the lanes because there is an access control once you want to enter a lane. When you use a ZTNA, you will only connect to the lane that you're allowed to swim in. And that access will already have been done, so you only see that lane. The access control for a VPN is when you want to access the server. For ZTNA, this has already happened when you launch the application, when you make the connection. Then ZTNA already knows what you can access in which subnets or which applications. It's more direct. Like where VPN is a little bit broader, which is for a regular end user, they will not notice a lot of difference.
Nope.
But for an attacker, this means the attack surface that they can get to, because it's not because I cannot access this resource, that maybe Pieter can access the resource, but you can log in through my VPN credentials and then log in with Pieter's credential onto a server that I was not able to log into. And that is not possible when you have ZTNA, because the identity is the main thing. You cannot do context switching or identity switching in the service.
It's very nicely explained. And I like the the two words attack surface reduction. Those are three words. But attack surface reduction is indeed a very big thing here, because the IPs that your identity is not allowed to go to, or the resources, they will not be there. So an attacker cannot see them.
Exactly.
And that is a very big difference compared to the old traditional VPN. And that's why the old VPNs are not relevant for me anymore. It doesn't make sense to install it again, just to use a ZTNA product.
I can tell it's the 5th episode because that was my exact question. I was gonna pose him now to.
But hey, you answered your own question.
Maybe a little.
Awesome. But yeah, indeed.
So
very,
we're saying
very true.
VPN is a relic. It's not necessary anymore. We're talking about client VPN for
Yes.
the techies under us because we know there is still side to side, which is still relevant.
True. So, but ZTNA, it's part of a bigger ecosystem.
Yes.
Have we used the term SASE on the podcast already?
I don't think so, but we have been talking about it privately for about a year.
Mm-hmm. So, SASE. I'll take it away. SASE. Now I need to make sure I don't say any mistakes, but it stands for Security Access Service Edge, which is all about your edge of your network and how you can securely communicate through it, either incoming or outgoing. ZTNA is one product of it. But also CASB is a part of it, which is your cloud access security broker. It's all your outgoing traffic. There is also the secure web gateway, which kind of melts together with the CASB for me. Those do the same things, kinda. Please don't hit me when you see me if you think I'm wrong here. The next gen firewall is also a part here. Also melts into the CASB product, actually. Our CASB product does all these things. And then, of course, SD-WAN. So those components all together, they form SASE, the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, I think how I define SASE, I split it into 3 different things. I can only remember 2, so I'll say 2.
I'll come up with the third one.
I do... Like one thing is, how do you do your public access, so your internet access, how you define that, which policies are on there, and then you are talking about your CASB,
secure web gateway,
yes,
next gen firewall.
Exactly, that's those 3 components. Then you have, how do you do your private access, so this is your public cloud or private cloud access, and then you have ZTNA, SD-WAN coming into play. And then there is a third one, but I'm blinking on the principle, so I only have 2. But Pieter was gonna.
I was gonna say the third one, but
yes,
in my head you mentioned them all.
Oh,
yeah.
damn. Well, 2. There is only 2.
So why do companies need to go to a SASE setup?
Because people need money. No.
Also, true, it funds the big companies.
Basically, I know it is more secure. It is an advancement. There's also a lot of development going on. One of the things I had written down is the integration of, because you're mentioning SD-WAN, but SD-WAN is also available outside of ZTNA. It's a nice integration.
Outside of SASE, yeah, no, you're right. But all these products are available outside of SASE. They're all components on itself.
I think it's a nice, or it's a good extension of your perimeter security. It's one of the things that I also wanted to mention, like ZTNA, how it holds up to your perimeter security. For explanation of what perimeter security is, it's the old school way of doing it. It's the firewall, it's the data center. You have your edge networking with the VPN, and then everything inside is trusted, And that is not true anymore with ZTNA, because it's a direct connection. Inside of the data center, things are really, really even more segmented. You had in the past your VLANs, and you can segment the network, which is bigger, but now you're really going on an application level where you are limited to a layer 3 and 2 networking when you go into the data center. Now you're talking about layer 7, which is higher up.
You're right, but does not mean that you don't need to segment your network anymore. So
Agreed.
you can imagine you have one big network with zero segmentation at all. By implementing a ZTNA product, you can fence off resources from users that are not authorized to access them. All right, cool. So an attacker can only compromise one application and not all the applications in your network. But once the application has been compromised, the attacker is on that machine, and then he can still, or she can still see the whole network there, right? But it is an extra step there. But I like the way you were going. So I think what you were trying to say is, we all have been doing IT for companies and infrastructure, setting the environments up for many years, and it's all been in the traditional way of working. But the traditional way of working has been shifted. We are all becoming hybrid home workers. We are in an office, or we are working from home, or even working from our holidays. Let's say you want to go to Spain for a month and you want to work from there. It is all possible. And with the all the SASE components, with the SASE ecosystem, you're able to still implement all your security postures while giving the end user the flexibility of working from wherever he wants.
So yeah, it's like having the firewall with you on holiday, kinda.
Nice one. Yeah, exactly. Your firewall is in your pocket. Well,
Yeah.
not completely, it's in the cloud, but yeah, you have your firewall everywhere. You have your policies, your rules, your
web filter,
everything
yes.
is there. Yes.
So yeah, it's just it is a really nice addition to the hybrid work, and the firewall into pocket. I like that one a lot. That's a good one to describe it. But yeah, then the thing that then also comes up is like, yeah, it is improving, and there is a lot of things, and then I think about where in your perimeter security you have IPS, IDS, but AI and behavioral analysis is also doing this in ZTNA on the identity.
Yes. No, you're right. It's a next gen firewall in your CASB product.
Yeah,
most probably. So it has the IDS, it has the IPS, it has all kinds of signatures that it can check, but it also has a sandbox where it can detonate some weird things that it does not know to find out if the behavior is malicious or benign. And those sandboxes have been known to use machine learning things for a long time to determine whether it's benign or malicious or just legitimate.
Also, just a side note, IDS is
intrusion
detection prevention.
Intrusion detection system, and then the IPS is a prevention.
Yes.
So with the IDS, you only detect, and it's good to know, but it doesn't act when it sees a bad signature coming along. The IPS does prevention as well, so it is able to block your network connection when it sees something malicious going on. Yes. Okay. Do you remember? So back in the days, Nick and I, we tried or used to play Hack the Box for a couple of months.
True.
We
He's
were
actually wearing a sweater of it right now.
Yes, I am from that time.
All swagged up.
We often collaborate on hacking a box, like we share intelligence on how and what we saw, what we were doing. And there was this one box, I don't remember which one it was anymore, but we were hacking on it, I guess on a Friday afternoon. And I remember that I found an exploit, and I wanted to share this exploit with you because it was the first, the initial foothold, the first remote code execution. And I tried to send it to you over Discord. And my work laptop blocked the connection completely because it saw that there was an active exploit in the HTTP stream that I tried to send to you.
Yeah.
So then I switched over to Microsoft Teams because, and I will explain this later, because it just worked there. And then you got the exploit and you could use the exploit. That was actually CASP and your security web gateway, I think, that was coming into play, because our CASB product is decrypting all the traffic that you are sending. It is able to see inside your HTTP packets, and it can put together the whole stream to take a signature and see whether it's malicious or not. And it was able to do that with Discord. But then I tried to send it over Teams, and Microsoft are always like, oh no, we don't like it that another party is doing SSL decryption on our traffic. You're not allowed to do this. So a lot of these CASB products, they whitelist or exclude Microsoft domains from their special encrypted tunnel, which will have some security measures applied to it. So over Teams it worked, and that was for me a very beautiful example of how in the future we all need to have these kind of things.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. So we are very convinced of ZTNA. We are all on board of the zero trust train.
Yes.
Now we're gonna implement. What are possible challenges that we can face when we implement this solution?
Well, first of all, the ZTNA is an easy one, I guess, because it is just lift and shift from your current VPN box. Not completely, because all the network rules that you set up on the VPN appliance in your firewall, you can just yeet them, and you need to redo them in the cloud, and then on the network level, on the firewall level, you want to reassess how and which ports you want to open.
Yeah.
But that's going to be an easy one. The most difficult one, I think, is going to be the CASB, because all your web traffic is going through a kind of reverse proxy in the cloud, and it will do some security checks, but not all websites or domains or applications like that you are playing man in the middle on the traffic. They all have SSL implemented by now. I really hope so. And if they do some kind of channel binding checks where they check if your encrypted channel on the source is actually still the same channel on the destination, if they do those checks, your CASB will break it, because they are coming in the middle of it and they are creating a new chain.
So yeah, just to give a little bit more explanation, what happens there is like the certificate. So let's say you give it an address, or you give it I sent my traffic, and I mark it like, hey, this is my traffic, Nick. And then the CASB comes in between, and he says like, okay, now it's my traffic because I can control that. And if there is a check on if the source, so sending the traffic as Nick, and a check on the destination, and that's not the same, then it will not work, because it will not allow it to be done like that. But the reason why is just control. Like if the CASB product can do the SSL decryption and put its own SSL certificate on there, it has control of what is being sent. But yeah, people don't like to give control to other people, so then they are mad.
Nope, indeed. And I mean, you also got to know that if you do this CASB thing, you're sending all your internet traffic to a third-party provider. Yeah. They do SSL decryption on it, so they have all your web traffic data. Make sure to trust your CASB provider, or SASE if you go for the whole ecosystem. But this is very important, and it is a problem with a lot of people. And I often get the question that, do you really trust all your traffic going to this provider and they seeing everything? And then, well...
But isn't this like security guys just freaking each other out? Because they are providing security measures, like you have some trusted companies.
It wouldn't be the first security provider
Gartner says.
Yeah, also, exactly. But it wouldn't be the first security provider to facilitate a very big hack worldwide, or bad things. And now I'm going to reference the CrowdStrike thing that happened. It is a security provider, and it shut down the world for a day. I can also reference Okta. They are an identity provider, but they gave access to a whole lot of companies when some threat actor compromised them. If this provider gets breached, well, all our traffic will be out in the open.
True.
But it's easier to maintain, and it's something that you implemented at your workplace. You make sure that all the agents are running, that your tenant is set up, that your policies are in place, and you don't have to worry about keeping it online, keeping it up to date, and all that stuff. So it's you put away some responsibilities, and with doing that, you also put some risks there, but just put them in your risk register, and you're good to go.
It's nice that you said
that sounds so easy.
In one place, because it's one of the challenges I wrote down. Like, a fragmented infrastructure is one of the challenges you could face when implementing zero trust.
Yes, that's why if you go all the way immediately with the SASE, you actually simplify your network quite a lot.
Yes,
because you can also, I mean, your firewalls don't need to be that advanced anymore either. You can just use them as man, this is a dangerous thing to say, but just as advanced routers. Just make sure that you open up the routes, you allow traffic from that IP and that port to that IP with that port, and you can do all your security checks, your SSL inspection, your web filters. You can do that all on your provider.
I can tell it's episode 5 because the next thing that was on my list is inconsistent security standards. So when you have a duplicate or contradictory security measures on your firewall and in your SASE, ZTNA solution, it might also be a challenge, because you might set something up and it won't work because the firewall is actually in between.
That's true.
And then the last thing I had, though Pieter said it's not an issue, legacy applications. And then I'm more thinking about the identity access management part and the modern authentication that is needed for ZTNA. Some legacy applications might not support it, and then you have an issue there. So what does that mean? You need a modern authentication protocol. So then we are thinking about SAML OAuth2. But if you have just legacy authentication protocols that don't support like things like an MFA or an SSO or biometrics, you will have a problem with ZTNA to access that application.
Well, you can still facilitate access to the application, but the user will need to log in on the application itself again.
Exactly.
Which is, and now I'm using my coding fingers again, inconvenient for the end user, but that's how it works now as well. They need to log into their VPN, connect to the VPN, and then log in again to the other application.
Straight into my next challenge.
Oh God.
How do we manage usability versus security? Because adoption is a big thing. Your users might be used to a certain way of working, and all of a sudden it's different. But also, how do you make sure that your CASP, that what you're implementing is not getting into the way of your users? Do you start with an open approach? Do you start with a restricted approach? How are you doing this?
I can tell that we, at our job, we might have done the best approach for security, but the worst approach for usability here. We went with a very restricted policy, and we didn't use any monitor mode, things alike. And I would recommend to use the monitor mode in the beginning and make your policies as tight as you want. For example, one thing that we did, we are disallowing access to GitHub for normal end users. Why? Because GitHub is a dangerous place, quote by myself. But there is a lot of malware going around at GitHub, and we are seeing active attacks of attackers that gain access to an environment, and then they just grab their payloads from GitHub and use it to facilitate other access. So we straightly disallow it for the whole population, but some key users in IT that are developers or need access to GitHub, they get it. And I would advise everyone to do these kind of policies immediately, but put it in monitor mode, which means that the access will not be blocked, but it will be locked somewhere. You can then check it afterwards and try to find out why do these end users need access to this application.
So you're actually saying that the better way is to go in an open mode, so a transparent mode, with the monitoring on, so you can log the rules and create rules on that. And then when you think everything that is coming through now is checking rules, now I'm turning all the access off, I'm blocking everything that doesn't apply to the rules, and this is it.
Yeah, kinda, indeed.
What is your advised time period for this?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I mean, you can see a lot within 1 week, actually, but then there will be a lot of special cases that you won't have seen.
I was just gonna be like, yeah, but I only use this application once a month because it's a finance application, and it's just when we close down the month, then we need to use this.
But honestly, if you leave it open for 1 month, this one-time use of this one application, it won't show up in your logs, and you will think, oh, this is something I need to act on, or I need to check it.
But do you want to block finance at the end of the month when they are doing their monthly closing?
No, that's why if you do this change, you let it go through a change approval board, and they will advise you on the best timing to set this up. But exactly, you don't want to implement this rule when it's the most precious and stressful time for your finance people. You don't want to do that. Also, we rolled it out very phased. So we started with IT because our IT people are always the guinea pigs of all our policies, apparently. Yes. And then we just took down, I think, department by department, and we enabled a few of them, and then all of them. It was a very long rollout, in my opinion, but it was the safest way here.
Do you need to put an asterisk, I guess? This was only for the CASB, the next-gen firewall, and
secure web gateway.
Yeah. And we might next year, and that's also the thing that's kind of sparked this topic, link in the ZTNA.
I'm so looking forward to this. I've been talking about ZTNA and SASE for, I think, the whole year of 2024.
Yeah, I think we brought it up in the beginning of the year together because we were, just to have the use cases done. One of the things that I am trying to facilitate for the next year is to remove the use of VDI. Currently, we use a lot of VDI for legacy applications, and actually everybody uses a VDI desktop. It kind of grew from COVID, and we didn't really have a solution, and then VDI was a really great way to get it up fast. We already used VDI for some users that just use the thin client. We could scale it up fast. Everybody has access. Everybody can do whatever they did on their regular desktop. We also didn't need to support any hardware anymore in production sites where it might be damaged, it might break faster. So it can just be with a thin client. But now we're out of COVID. We are still paying users, and it's also a bit financial. People get a pretty good laptop because laptops nowadays have great specs to just open up a Citrix connection or now I spoiled the VDI solution, which I didn't want to do, but not spoiled. I gave it away. So then that is a thing where you basically buy quite a good laptop for people to just go to a VDI solution. I wanted to get it off that VDI solution. I wanted to go back to the local device, simplicity, one login to do it all, because now you need to log into the VDI solution to have an extra desktop where you basically work.
Mm-hmm.
So a way of simplifying it down, and then also improving security posture and getting a little bit more on there. But we also had other cases. We have people connecting to cloud that also need access. They use a VPN right now, which is kind of silly. They can also use ZTNA because there is enough cloud connectors for all the solutions out there. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun project, and I brought that up indeed somewhere beginning last year.
Yep.
So yeah, beginning 2024, already end of 2023, it was already in my
when
head.
we had to think about what do we want to do next year, this was already in our minds. And I'm very happy to see that after 1 year it is still in our minds, and now we're acting on it. That's faster than we usually do things.
Yes.
Oops.
There was also a lot of other stuff. We already did some preparation. As we already spoke about, we implemented CA. So we're setting up. We're getting there closely. You got the CASB solution in place. Was it last year or
no? I think it's 3 years ago by now.
Never mind.
I need to check it. Quite some time ago. The CASB and DNS security we were also doing, but that's with a totally different product. But those were all movements or shifts from getting our security tooling on premise to the cloud in order to allow our end users to work from home while maintaining our security posture.
So now. Wait, I need to go and make this more seasonal, because security always comes with this expression about eggs and baskets, but let's call it ornaments on the Christmas tree. Do you hang all your ornaments on the same Christmas tree?
Nope, not at all.
For your SASE solution, do you wanna split it up, or SASE as a whole? Do you keep that in one ecosystem?
Interesting, because there are a lot of components here, and for me it would make sense to use the same ZTNA product as there is the CASB product for us, because the agent is already installed, the infrastructure is already there, the policies are already there, and it makes no sense to use a different agent for ZTNA, in my opinion. But then indeed, if you're talking about how did you call it?
Ornaments
in the Christmas tree, then you got me there indeed. And this is I would want to have it as the same product, because it simplified things in how they work together, and the XDR thing that we discussed 2 episodes ago, I think.
Could be.
So yeah. Damn, I need to reassess my life now.
I am starting to get him on board that unification of tools also has its advantages, that the platform also has its advantages. But
I think
I do get that if that platform gets hacked, same as he mentioned before with like an Okta, with like CrowdStrike, like that's one vendor. If they get breached, the more you have, the more ornaments you have in the tree.
Yeah, exactly.
The more ornaments will be down on the floor when the tree falls.
Yeah, true. But talking about ornaments and trees here, for me the SASE thing is all about your network traffic in transit. This is one layer of the whole security onion. So that this one is from one vendor, that's okay for me, because we still have a different vendor for the DNS security. We have a different vendor for the endpoint security. We have a different vendor for the email security. So those are all layers that an attacker, if he wants to breach our network, he needs to go through.
How do you feel about the security concept being shifted up to layer 7, like application layer instead of the networking layer?
I love it. your traffic when it starts at your computer. It starts at layer 7 and it ends up at layer 7 on the other side. It levels up your security posture. You're able to do way more than just doing network access.
Do you feel like there is still security necessary on the lower levels?
Well, yeah, and that's what I wanted to say with advanced router capabilities of your firewall. You still need to segment your network, and I think personally that micro-segmenting will become a thing too very soon. You don't want to have an application segment with all your applications in there and they can all talk to each other. No, you want an application zone, one level higher, and then all different segments for each application.
But I want to make a case here that that's exactly what ZTNA is doing. It's doing your micro-segmenting.
Yes, but on your identity level. So again, let's imagine I'm the attacker here and I compromise your web application through your identity, through the ZTNA connection. Now I am the web application. If I am able as the web application to connect to all the other web applications in the same segment because they are in the same network, then there you miss a security border.
He is the captain now.
Yes.
No, so to conclude, lower level security is still necessary.
And still foundational, by the way, because you can have all these fancy shining diamonds, but as you heard in my imaginary case where I hacked the web application, you're past the shiny diamonds and now you're in a shithole? You want your network segmented too, and actually you need to start there.
Now he has the whole pool.
Oh, damn.
To link it back to the pool analogy. Yes. All right. I'm just checking the time. We are about 41 minutes in, 42. Do you still have any things you want to touch on the zero trust, Pieter? I'm kind of running out. I went through my notes.
Oh, yeah, because Nick made notes.
I made notes. I came prepared.
Which is nice. Maybe we should do that more often. Well, I think we said almost everything about this SASE, ZTNA, and zero trust, which is the biggest buzzword of all here.
Maybe we should do a quick recap. So ZTNA, like... The foundation is trust no one, verify everything, least privilege, and continuous validation of the access. It's based on IAM, so MFA, SSO, biometrics, like modern authentication protocols only.
Nice.
It does segmentation of your network or application layer on application level, so it is constraining lateral movement for an attacker in that sense.
Yeah, from the identity's point of view.
Point of view. And it's supported by a policy engine, which, in a better term, conditional access to provide things.
Indeed.
Why would we use ZTNA? What are the use cases? Because people are going more to cloud hybrid work. We already discussed it a little bit.
Yeah, so I already did the argumentation in my head and now I need to do it again, but summed up difficult. So indeed, for remote workers to have your policies applied everywhere, to have this firewall in your pocket. No, this is Casby I'm talking about now. To not have exposure on the internet, so you can do attack surface reduction on your perimeter. Something else I forgot?
No.
Okay,
and
cool.
VPN is irrelevant. That's also a statement that was made. And ZTNA is an extension of your perimeter security. There
is actually, for anyone listening to this podcast and wanting to try out this ZTNA stuff, there is a very good video explained by Network Check on YouTube where he explains or he guides you into installing TwinGate, which is a free ZTNA tool that you can install at your home, and he shows you how to do it and why you should do it. And he has a very cool thumbprint with you need to ditch your VPN. We'll link it, but that's very
if we're going that route, there is other trial stuff like Cloudflare has.
Yes, Cloudflare Zero Trust. It's the warp agent.
Yes, so
with Cloudflare you can also do Cloudflare tunnels, which is also very cool, but maybe not in scope for this podcast.
But they have 50 users free.
Correct. Yes.
So you can use that to play around with, and I'm sure there are others as well.
Tailscale. It's also one you can look into. Okay, so ZTNA, SASE, we did cover SASE. Let's go over it real quick again. So the ZTNA is one part of SASE, but you also have your next-gen firewall, secure web gateway, and your CASB, which are all three melted together, and an SD-WAN component.
Oh, actually, we didn't really cover what SD-WAN entails. That's maybe still an
software-defined wide area networking.
Damn, that was it. Very fancy. So what does that mean, Peter?
What are WAN connections? WAN connections you create to connect multiple LANs together into one big network. Let's say you're a company and you have multiple sites, multiple locations. With SD-WAN, you can connect these multiple locations as if it's one big network.
Exactly, and that makes it easier to connect in between.
Indeed, and with SASE, you can actually get rid of your MPLS network and all the very expensive links you needed to facilitate with your internet provider. You can just yeet them, get the cheapest
all those
ISP
lines and dark fibers can go.
Yeah, well, no, dark fibers. Do they still do dark fibers?
I don't know. It's been years.
If you don't need a massive internet speed between your links, you can just link them together with a SASE solution, and it's very easy. And your internet connection on the site doesn't need to depend on your MPLS connection anymore, or your MPLS doesn't need to depend on your ISP connection. On your ISP line, you can just go with the cheapest internet service provider and then install the SASE, and it's interconnected as well, which is a great cost saver.
Yes, but okay, we have covered it all. Zero trust. I hope you know what it means, what it does. SASE, ZTNA, a lot of acronyms.
Yeah, actually there is so much more, but let's not go into details.
But let's go to the best part of the podcast.
The beers. Yeah, so Nick provided us with beers today.
Yes, so again, like last episode, we have a beer from the Circus Brewery. This time we went a little bit stronger. As we already said, it's the 24th. We have Christmas Eve, so we thought, let's start it well. So we got the Herb Triple. It's a triple, blonde triple, 8.5%. And I'm very curious because I love triple. It has let me see if it has some kind of explanation on the label. It does not. But it should be herby. And I'll wait for Peter to settle in so he can go and get the untapped review of it. A blend of herbs de Provence and Belgian hops into a unique and marvelous spiced triple beer.
See what it tastes like, huh? Oh, yeah, you can open your beer.
Yes.
I do have to say we kind of missed an opportunity here to drink Christmas beer.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, but it is what it is. Oh, it's not as blonde as I thought it would
No,
be.
it's a bit cloudy.
Yes.
Oh my, very herby taste. Very herby taste. I have nothing to compare this with in a normal beer, but it is.
Oh, wow.
It's very fresh. What herbs are those? Okay, this is
It
cool.
also smells very herby.
It's
Has a nice smell, really nice smell. Wow.
I think
But
we
it's
can
the same
conclude it's herby.
as the saison. It's very different from what I'm used. Or I, as I said, I don't drink saisons, but the last was also quite different. Triples, I have a lot of experience in. Those are
What
my favorite beers.
triple would you say that this compares to or tastes like the most?
I need to taste it first, so let me do that then. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Wow, there is nothing that I can compare this with. No.
Same.
This is crazy.
This is a unique one, and it's very tasty
Yes.
for being so
But
unique.
different.
It's
Like my experience with triples they are most of the time like quite fruity, citrusy, a little bit light. Not light as in, but like taste. They're a little bit more open taste-wise. And the herbs here are
they're very present.
very present, and they instead of opening the taste, they kind of close it down, but in a good way, you know. It's not like it's bland or but it is the taste closes down. It's not that it goes. It doesn't open the palate. It's very present. It's here. Like this is it. Very direct. I like it.
Very direct. It is. I'm trying to figure out what herb it is. I'm tasting so much, but I'm not so good with tastes.
Are there any tasting notes on Tapped?
Let's see.
We really need to get that sponsorship because we drop them every episode.
Spiced herb beer, unique and marvelous spiced triple beer. Yeah, I can concur. Rosemary.
I can see that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say like thyme, rosemary, oregano, something like that. You know, this really Italian spice mix almost.
Yeah, indeed. It was definitely in that rayon of spices. Oh, God, cool. What kind of rating would you give this, Nick? On 5?
I am very impressed, to be honest. This is definitely not what I expected. Kind of took me out of left field. In a pleasant way. So, I would go for a 4, actually.
Oh, okay. That's,
yeah.
It's quite high. You know that my standard point system is rather severe. I don't give high points a lot.
Yeah. He is a very critical guy.
I'm
like
very
nobody deserves a 5 because there is always room for improvement.
Always, exactly. I gave it a 3.5 on 5, which is
high.
Rather high, indeed. But the point system is very important on Untapped, and you know why? I gifted myself the beer advent calendar this year. And it works with your Untapped account. So you give your Untapped username on this website. They analyze your whole profile. They see all the beers you checked in, all the beers you liked, what kind of rating, and they kind of build like your beer profile. And then based on this profile, they put together 24 unique beers for you to taste.
All right, guys.
And that's why your point system is important, because now all the beers in my crate are very good.
Okay, so then I think we should definitely link that link as well, because our podcast listeners are IT
definitely.
guys and hopefully
drinkers.
beer lovers, because I can see if you guys skip out on the beer part. No. But what kind of beers are in the crate then? Because now I'm interested.
Lots of brown ones. Because apparently I have a special taste for brown beer. I like it so much that...
And this is where we are complementary, because I don't like brown beers.
So yeah, it started off with a Satan, which was actually blonde, but pretty powerful. in terms of beer. And besides that, I like Le Perle du Homard, which is a blonde beer, or Artevelde Gentse Wijze, which is Belgian strong blonde, all blonde. Silly Scotch, or Scotch Silly, which was very cool.
Okay.
De Nossekop. Lots of crazy
of
beers that I
beers,
never
yeah.
heard before. But yeah, this one is from the Meufelbrouwerij, which is never heard of it before. But well, we Belgians, we surely like to make beer.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I think when you ask international people, like, hey, what do you associate with Belgium? Beer, chocolate, and waffles. I mean,
and fries, apparently.
not a lot, because weirdly enough, people think they're from France, because in English it's French fries.
Yeah, I know, which is ridiculous. But well, though, if you go to Poland, you can see a lot of small stores that says Belgiski Fritski or something like it. But it surely references to Belgium fries.
I think it sounds good. It should open some kind of friterie here, some fry place with that name.
It would work.
I think so too. People would go to the fact that it's an alliteration and beginning and end.
So Christmas Eve now for us, huh? The rest of the listeners, it's the rest of your hangover day or the start of your new year. But for us tonight, it's Christmas Day.
Yeah, what are you doing for the holidays, Peter?
Actually, it's always the same. I go and eat at my parents' place. They always create a nice dinner, and my brother is invited as well with her girlfriend, and then my best friends also come. So we're actually a quite big, happy family there.
So it's friends and family.
Indeed.
It's family.
Family? Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm not used to that kind of slang.
No, for me, just the family dinner. I'm actually already about 20 minutes late, but I already excused myself.
Well, if you want, we can postpone the podcast for another 40 minutes.
We can keep talking. Yes. No, it's fine. I already said that I was going to be late because, of course, podcast is way more important than Christmas Eve.
Exactly. This was the highlight of my day.
I think that's the beer talking.
Nah, well, maybe.
Okay, but
you think it's time to?
I think we wish you all, we hope you all had a really nice holiday season. Good Christmas. You guys ate yourself round, had some good food, enjoyed the family, enjoyed the friends.
And now it's time to hit the gym again and get back into shape.
Lies.
The resolutions we don't actually do.
But I hope all of you listeners have a really great 2025 planned. We have a really great 2025 planned. We're gonna do this podcast again and again and again each month. We're gonna find really good topics, and we're gonna try and do this more. Where we started out in the beginning with some more news things, I think now we're shifting more to getting topics.
We didn't even mention the news once this podcast.
Indeed.
I cannot even tell if there was news. There was definitely news. Oh yeah, Russia attacked Belgium again. There was that. I think 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay.
It's true.
He's still in these Russian hacker groups, telegrams, spying. But yeah, so we have some really nice things lined up for 2025. As we said, our goal for 2025 is to get the podcast out there more. And I would say if you guys have some topics that you guys want to see us discuss or give our opinions on,
actually, good idea.
Leave it in the comments, and we will definitely look at it and make an episode out of it.
Or send it through whatever mediums you already use to contact us if we already know you.
You can find Pieter on Instagram.
Actually, no, you cannot find me on Instagram. Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Sorry.
Sky, that was it. Blue Sky. Also, still Xitter, Twitter, anything that is not X. So Twitter.
Threads.
Fuck Threads. Fuck. Okay, it's time to
it's time to round up because Pieter is putting controversial things out here. No, if you want some topics discussed, leave it in Spotify comments. We will definitely discuss these topics if you have any comments or improvements. And maybe one thing that we also want to do in 2025 is starting to invite guests.
Yeah, so if you want to be a guest on this podcast, just leave a comment. We'll get back to you and we'll see if you're a good fit.
Oh no. Okay, but that all being said, guys, have a wonderful hangover day. Have a wonderful 2025. And we are signing off. This was Nick and this was IT Untapped episode 5.
Nice. Bye.